when I started taking people out for trek, it was from them asking me for more, I was doing charter trek with a group. Charter trek is in Ladakh. Yes, I'm aware. In Zanskar, yeah. Now imagine thinking that once you reach the vehicle, you're in safe hands, right? And there was a landslide on our way back. Oh, so we just, yeah, so anything can go wrong there. So we always try to keep focus on safety standards first and then try and see what all things that we can, manage.
Hello from Bangalore, India. I'm your host, Pamela, and you're tuned into Transition Story. Join us as we listen into inspiring tales from our guests, glean valuable learnings, and take action to apply them to our daily lives. We have shared inspiring stories of an executive coach, a first generation entrepreneur, technical sales leaders, authors, and second generation entrepreneurs. Now, to make this journey even more memorable, we delve into the transition story of a financial services consultant who embraced trekking and mountaineering to reach new heights in his passion. Manish spent 5 years in the financial services industry before realizing it wasn't his true calling. Embracing his passion, he founded Altitude Quest Adventure, creating a community for wanderers, learners, seekers, and explorers. The pandemic brought his business to a near standstill due to mobility restrictions, but his resilience kept him focused on reviving it once the world reopened for travel. Manish now runs two companies, Inmo and Ubuntu, and we look forward to learning from Manish on how to go on a trek with him. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, Manish, and appreciate you taking the time out from your busy trekking season to talk to me today.
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you so much for, inviting me for this one. It means a lot.
Yeah, it's a pleasure on my side. So, Manish, let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your early years and how did tax consulting happen and what did it do to you?
So yeah, like after graduation, I have always been into trekking, but post graduation, that rhythm was gone. Needed to do an MBA finance, and then getting a job at PwC was, how do I say it was an ambition. Every graduate has that they want to work for Big Four, and
Yes.
same was with me. Walking down the streets of Bandra, when you walk through Bandra Talab, you can see there's a building, huge building, glass, and PwC written over it. Earlier days, it was a different font altogether. And just by passing that lane, I used to look at that and I used to think one day I will work inside this complex. And that is how I got into, after graduation, I got into Big Four, and from PwC to EY, few years logging, you know, endless hours working there. And it was a really great time. I have learned so many things there. In fact, it was the best in terms of, having, how do I say that, when you get what you wanted and then you have to strive even more, hustle even more to be there, keep up the tempo up there, learn new things. And then what happened was, while I was doing all this, one thing was itching me back was I'm not traveling enough, I'm not doing treks enough, I'm not going for nature trails. So everything was, going back and fully focused into work. So this is how it was then.
Okay. So it was probably the mundane job profile where you were doing something good that you wanted to do, but it was of course creating a little bit of a hole in your experience section where you were not adding any more experiences to your kitty.
True that. So what happens, day in, day out, you're having a mundane lifestyle wherein you go, though the work is exciting, there are different challenges there also. But then there's some sense of seeking, which is missing, Every night you go back and you think about it, what is happening with me, why it is happening with me. Though you're doing well at job, but still you're not settled at mind. So your mind is always craving for something different. And this is how it started. My mind started getting, crave for going for outdoors, going for experiences. And I'm going again to the same office, working whole day. And again, when I'm back, it's the time to introspect myself. What am I doing? Why I'm doing? That is how
Absolutely.
it started.
Yeah. So tell me a occurrence or a day that you recall when you discovered, okay, now that I'm not going out, trekking or going to the mountains is my passion and I need to convert this into a career.
Okay, so it took a while. When I started, for at least 1.5 years, I started doing treks on weekends,
Hmm.
taking friends again, this was 2013 or so, when I started taking my friends. Even at EY, introduced trekking to a few of my colleagues and started a small program in our group itself as Saturday Stir. So it's like Stir is like shaking things up. That is how it started.
Okay.
And then when I started taking people out for trek, it was from them asking me for more, They wanted to come out for treks with me. Even if I'm not available, I'm caught up into work, but still, they plan things around me that you take care of people and you should do it. So they somehow motivated me, inspired me, taking it as a full-time role. And it took around 1.5 to 2 years of, I was working as well as I was doing this as part time. But then one day I felt like now I have some repo, I can survive, I can take this jump, I can take this leap. And on that, I just decided, okay, let's move on. Also, it would be honest, because of my boss, because he shifted to Singapore, the person I was reporting, and he offered me a job in the company there in Singapore. But that was the time when I realized, like, he was my mentor. He was a really nice boss to have. I was blessed with him. So cutting that thing, not getting that opportunity, but jumping on something which is really different from what I have been doing was a call. But yeah, it is now I feel like it was a wise call.
It's wisdom and hindsight that it was a wise call. But you took this big decision of leaving a well paying job in a city like Mumbai where life is expensive. You wanted to pursue
Yes.
travel adventures as a career. I'm sure the family responded in a certain way. Tell us about it.
So I think with most of people, it is same. People who want to do something, from what their family aspires them to do, and then choosing what they want to do. There's always a clash in that.
Yeah.
So same, it was not received well with my family also. I can sense that over the time, it gets covered and then they start thinking of it, why he left it and why he's doing this, because they could sense there was stress when I was working full time in corporate, and when I left, there was a sense of joy in doing whatever I have been doing. Though things were really different, more challenging because starting, as you said, life in Mumbai, life in a metro it takes a toll on people. So yeah, initially family resisted, but gradually they got the taste of it. And till date, sometimes during lockdown also I faced it. They're saying if you have been in the job still, you have been in good position. I said it's okay, like it happens. Just go with it.
Yeah. So your conviction probably, kept them or allowed them to give in to this decision because they saw that you're committed to this decision of pursuing this as a journey.
Yes, that's true. So initially there was a criticism to it, but now they support. They in fact sometimes they ask, "You're not going for a trip this weekend?" So it brings a smile to me as well. They are asking about it. So yeah.
It's your natural self that goes on treks every now and then, and they now treat that as your natural schedule. Excellent. So,
Good.
so Manish, it's a very slightly different question than your experience, of course. But you
Mm-hmm.
have been doing this for now, what, 10 years? 10, 11 years?
Yeah, 10, 11
Yeah.
years.
So there's a disruptive market around travel organizers, right? We see so many groups coming up online sharing their travel itineraries, treks, and there's a lot of people also who have now gotten interested into this, stream. In the previous scheme of things, people used to go to travel in a very different way. Adventure traveling has
Right.
increased quite a bit now. How do you, being a very niche travel organizer for treks and for corporate events, I know Ubuntu, your brand, does corporate events, and
Right.
Inmo does all your treks. So, what is your strategy to identify the target customers and ensure that you create stickiness in your way of delivering that travel experience to them that keeps them coming back to you?
So the first thing is experience. Obviously, people, it's something that they can sense, they can feel during the trek. But bringing the target audience to the trek is something that we have to work around as a strategy. So what happened? Let me tell you. Before lockdown, we used to do a lot of group of fixed departures. So be it Sayadris, Himalayas, or Nepal. We used to have a lot of Ladakh. We used to have a fixed departures. But during lockdown, everything went down. It was a roller coaster of a ride, from doing fixed departures, everything got stopped, and then all your operators, your vendors, everyone was behind you, your customers. So it was that time when I decided I will not go into this stream of, serving as a direct to customer, wherein we'll do a fixed departure kind of approach. So that was the time when we decided, and we shift our entire objective of doing things for corporate oriented clients.
Got it.
So, and people with, defining a niche was like something, what I have learned from myself is when I was working at EY or at Big Four, I had everything, good job, good salary, everything. But there was something missing, as I said, there was a sense of missing, which always used to drive me to do something different. So my target audience is this people, this set of
Okay.
people who want to do something different. It's not about they are doing very well in their lives with the jobs or with hobbies or passion they are following. But I want to take these people who are already doing well, they are financially well, they are emotionally well, and now they want to, exceed from there to next level. That is, connecting with nature and bringing that nature in moment. So that is how it all started. I started rethinking on the strategies, and I will say in terms of operations or in terms of hustle that we used to have earlier before lockdown, it has gone really down. So we have a good bunch of people, though it is limited, but really nice people to work with. They respect your work, we respect them, and that is how we work. Coming back to new operators or travelers, so industry has changed. Trekking as per se, industry has changed a lot after lockdown. I can say every day I'm seeing a new Insta post of someone, making a reel around it, doing something. You will never see a reel from my team, but we have our own network of people who trust us for their treks, and we are happy to serve them. And the best form of doing it is people promoting you. So these are people, these are our leaders who promote us in their circle, and this is how we have grown over the period of time. So still doing the same old method.
Yeah, but the traditional method has worked for you because these travel champions who have good experience, they spread the word of mouth.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Now, coming to trekking as a subject, I myself have never done a trek in my life because I feel there are a lot of risks with mountaineering. How do you ensure safety of the people that you take with you? And does it really cause any stress in the profession? While I understand you're chasing your passion, you're very happy doing it, but does it also involve a lot of risk management? Because we hear a lot of accidents happening during treks, and purely not the fault of the travel operator, but of course, weather conditions, anything can go wrong. And but the ownership is, of course, on the travel operator or the organizing team. So, how do you handle it?
So safety is the first, concern whenever we are doing anything, because it is outdoor and we have to take that's utmost priority for us as well. Making checks of all the things, even after doing all the checks, even after making the best of the safety plans, strategy. Still, what happens is there are uncertain things that can go wrong. There are multiple. Like, for example, let me give you a story of I was doing Chadar Trek with a group. Chadar Trek is in Ladakh.
Yes, I'm aware.
In Zanskar. Yeah. So it is one of the craziest treks. In those days, it was a longer route. Now it has shortened a bit. So during this trek, what happened? I had really, I can say, sea level of clients with me during the trek, and it was 7 day program to start from point A to reach the summit or the end Nirek Falls. On day 3, it started snowing. Day 3, day 4, day 5. So we were in this valley of Zanskar on Chadar Trek, and it snowed continuously. So I can say a layer of around where there was a ground, a layer of around 3 to 3.5 feet of snow was already laid down. So we had to, cut down our strategy of going to Nerak and return back from there, from the point we were at. We were at base camp 2 that time. So we returned from this point, and when we came back, we reached our vehicles. Now imagine thinking that once you reach the vehicle, you're in safe hands, right?
Hmm.
So now you're out of threat.
Hmm.
So many things are in control.
In
Because
control.
anything, yeah. But this is not how it is, you know. So now from here, the another adventure begins. What happens is when we get into our traveler there, so there are around there usually we have a 12-seater, 13-seater traveler bus, sports traveler bus. So once we got into it, our crew got into another bus. So we had two buses with us, you know, and there was a long queue of buses there because a lot of people came back. And while we were returning back, it was already, you can say, around 9 p.m., 10 p.m. in the evening, but it's late night there.
Hmm.
It's evening in Mumbai and Bangalore.
And
We live in a metro city. It's a
very
different feel altogether there. And there was a landslide on our way back.
Oh,
So we just, yeah, so anything can go wrong there, you know. Then this sense of this is the reason why we do it. There's a sense of humanity into it. So all these guides of local porters, Ladakhis, everyone, we ourselves, you know, volunteered. We came down, we picked those rocks and cleared the paths. It took
Wow.
us around 1.5 to 2 hours. All the hands were all bruised, you know, all these things happened. But we cleared the path. Everyone was back in Leh by 12:30
In the night.
in the night. It was midnight, and it was one of the best feelings, you know, going there and coming back. And then you realize it is not about the risk that is involved in trekking. Yeah, things go wrong. I will not say that it doesn't, but it goes wrong. When it goes wrong because of operator or because of individual, it is a different case. But there are so many other elements also involved into it. So we always try to keep focus on safety standards first, and then try and see what all things that we can, you know, manage in worst case scenario, because you have to be at peace.
Yes,
You have to be
absolutely.
calm in chaos. So the chaos can come anytime.
Anytime. You're always prepared for it.
Yeah, you have to. That's the only part. So the more you are calm, higher chances that you will get out of it.
Yes, excellent. Such a powerful story, and I really loved your passion when you were narrating it. It really shows how passionate you are about the whole subject. Now, say a person who is your age wants to start a business in travel, hospitality, or say trekking in particular, and they have a passion for it. As an entrepreneur who has thrived through crisis and has established his business in the last 10 years, what would be those 2 3 things you will advise them? How should they start, if they're really passionate about travel?
Travel per se is it's infinite, you know. I'm mostly focused into experience and adventure travel part of it. There's leisure travel, there's solo traveling, there's now people are planning to travel to moon as well, you know. So travel is something, and it's not something new.
Hmm.
It's very ancient.
Yes.
Monks before used to travel from, you know, places to places. So it's more of an experience where there's a calling, and it's an intrinsic calling. So travel is all the way from booking flight tickets and cab for someone to operating the entire event for someone to guiding for a trail or trek.
Yeah.
So it's very vast, and someone who is really wanting to, you know, come into industry and follow their passion and drive it through. So passion is for, I will say, it's not for long. Perseverance is. So one has to, you know, not only be passionate about it, passion will surely take you to some point. But yeah, patience and working on to it, bettering from what you are doing now, continuous improvement will take you to the next level. So that is one advice that I will like to give to people who are looking in to start their own into travel.
Okay. So basically you're saying that they should know their niche in the wide
Yes.
array of travel areas. They should choose what they want to do. And once they have
First thing is
chosen,
that.
yeah, once they have chosen that, it's not only about passion, because passion can get you, to a distance, but you also need to be very resilient, be very patient in, playing along and doing the business consistently so that you can expand.
So I can say that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, you know.
Yes.
Sprint is like an aerobic activity, it just gets over quickly.
Yes.
So passion can give you that spark. It will give you that spark to start. But what happens when you have to go for a long run? You have to build your endurance, and endurance comes with experience, it comes with
Yes.
learning, and
Yes.
continuous improvement. So I know you must have heard about Kaizen. It's a
Yes.
Japanese philosophy. And I believe every individual, professionally, personally, on all grounds, should take that element from Japan's philosophy, of a continuous improvisation of what you are doing, how you are doing, and how it will impact the society. So gradually it brings better out of you. So
Yes.
anyone
For
who
sure.
is seeking for, a short term or instant success, I don't know, in today's world, it is possible with
Not.
your reels going millions
It
of
is not.
views and you're going viral. But yeah, it's not the best way, I can say.
Yeah.
Even for that, one needs to be patient.
Correct. So last thing, Manish, and your answers really show your passion and your resilience. If we want to go on a trek, anybody like you
Mhm.
who has never been on a trek, what are the two, three things they should keep in their mind before shortlisting a operator or a partner, like a travel partner?
Okay. So this is a key thought, I guess, behind the first one really complements this question, because the first question was around starting as a travel business owner or an
Yes.
entrepreneur. And now how do you cater that question of
Correct.
selecting your customer selecting you as an
Yes.
operator?
Yes.
So what happens, the first thing is, as an operator, if I am immersive, if I am taking care of it, I will surely make sure that all my itineraries and experiences are listed well.
Yes.
It's there on board, and whenever someone inquires, I can put it across the information. So keeping that aside, as a individual who is looking for his group or the friends to go out, and while selecting a travel operator, he must first see the experience of person.
Mm.
What is his experience? The second is expertise. What is his expertise into? If
Mm.
someone comes to me for a leisure travel, I get a lot of calls for, honeymoon packages as well. I do not give that. I do as a service. I have people in connections. So I pass it on to people who do it better than me. So
Mm.
I do things in my scope of services that I am good at, that is adventure travel and creating an offsite experiences for corporates. This is two holistic profiles that I manage. So sometimes what happens, people come to you for XYZ number of tours,
Correct.
So I pass it on to the people who are experts. So experience and expertise is top of the list. Then comes, whenever you're choosing a travel operator, you should always have a look at the reviews and reputation in market, how they are doing in market, what reputation they have. Even I have seen big companies also, better at some point. And my final suggestion would be to a customer to don't go for an online aggregator agency, go for direct tour operator, a local person, local expertise. Go
Yes.
for that. So that would be the, change, or it will bring unique proposition to their entire experience.
Correct.
Because what happens if something goes wrong, and it can, it's like, though we plan everything so well, but things can go
And go
wrong.
wrong. Yeah.
So in that case, if you have a local expertise, then that guy can handle that very well.
Very well.
Rather than someone, coordinating it, then you raise a complaint online, then the ticket is raised, and then that guy calls the guide there. It's better to identify a person who is doing it locally and with a good experience and expertise into the field.
Excellent. So now I'm all pumped up and excited to see when can I go on a trek. But being a beginner, I would wait for the monsoons to go off, because those same reels that people are making to advertise a lot of treks are also showing a lot of accidents.
Yeah,
So
it's so this is how things are. Everything has two sides to it, pros and cons, heads and tails. So I have already done around 10 treks in monsoon, and believe me, to trek in southern part of it, like be it Western Ghats or a mountain range around Nandis and Nilgiris around your town. So this is the best time to go for it.
yeah,
Go with the expert or a local guide who has an experience, go with someone who can take care of you.
yeah,
So that would be advice, but this is the best time. Go for it. Don't go on the reels that are showing, there's misery in world. You cannot do that. But
correct.
there's a joy of living as well with the
Yes,
same misery.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So
I
I
totally
will
agree.
say select that and go and experience yourself in the mountains. There would be moments that you will cherish for lifetime.
Wow, you're so passionate, Manish. I am all excited. I will go and book a trip for sure. Thank you so much,
Sure, sure.
Manish, for sparing this valuable time. I'm sure people listening into the podcast would definitely benefit. And those travel enthusiasts in the listener group, if you have to reach Manish, you can always reach out to him on the social handles that we mentioned at the end of the show. Thank you, Manish, once
Thank you
again.
so much. Thank you so much.